we put the bees in, it has to be green. Or we put...
Hello, this is Sam with Bulldog Reader, and today I'm doing a video inspection of the main line for 324 West 17th Avenue in Spokane, Washington. And I guess I had some weird stuff going on. What this line actually does is I'm doing this video inspection from the clean out back in their backyard. It goes on about 15 to 12 foot or 12 to 15 foot little run, and then it drops into another 6-inch tile pipe. And right across from where this line drops in, their neighbors drop in as well. So they've been having issues with trying to cable this line out from going through this clean out and then into the neighbor's house. I was able to make it past that bend, and we're going to start to pull back. I'm going to show you guys the condition of the pipe and what sort of issues there could be with this line. I've already cabled with it once. You can see water flowing through it, so that's a plus. Stuff is technically open and flowing, but I think that we could do a little bit better work. So right there is the end of the city sewer that we were just looking at. Let me get back there real fast. And there it is. This is where all the waste for those houses are going to drop down to, and this is going to be inside the street. You can see water stowing by. It looks like that's just like a little bit of like a separation actually. What happens is over time these little sections of tile will start to settle inside of the ground and create offsets, so they won't exactly be lined up correctly. You can see kind of at the top part of the screen how there's a pipe just a little offset from the other one. That's what we're looking at there. So we're in 6-inch tile right now. It looks like we go on a little turn right before we tie into that main, and then I'm going to start to pull back. So it looks like we got a pretty big separation right here. The good news is that it's stair-stepping down, so it's not really obstructing the flow of waterfall. Essentially, this is just like a mini waterfall inside of your sewer pipe. And you can see the separation right there. So that could eventually be an issue if it starts to separate any more than it is now. Right now, stuff could definitely get through that pretty easily. But my main worry would to be if that were to separate any more and start to settle inside of the ground. There could be some issues there. And then what we're looking at right here is like a perfect seam. This is realistically we want everything to look like. It's just completely flush. You can see water's going down it just fine. Right here it looks like there's just like a little bit of settling, and it looks like the pipe that we're in right now is actually settling. Bottom left-hand corner of the screen, kind of where that light is, a little bit before it, you can see how water is just kind of dipping up over this little section right there. That's not really going to cause an issue unless it worsens, like I was saying, but that's a very, very minor separation. It's really normal to see that. The line itself is about 98 feet long. Looks like we got a little bit of roots left over. I cabled through this line once. There is going to be a lot more roots, and my plan is to go back in again with the bigger blade so we can really cut those sections out. Essentially what I did was I was able to poke a hole in the roots and pull some back, but there's definitely going to be some more work, and we'll look at that stuff and we'll let you see it as well. So as I was saying, here is one of the root intrusions that needs to be taken care of. You can see, like, you know, most of the pipe is taken up by this, and there's some toilet paper debris and whatnot there. That just needs to be taken out so stuff can flow properly. Looks like we got another minor separation right there. That was not too bad to worry about. You can see the one that I was talking about earlier. That's about the most you want a separation. Realistically, if that was separated the other way, as if it were to have like a stair step up, that would be more of an issue because it'd be stopping a lot of stuff. Right here we drop into some water, and we're dropping into that water because right here we have a separation and there's some more roots in this section as well. So you can see that most of the pipe is actually blocked off by these roots. I was able to get my cable through that section right there, but the seams have been cleaned up a lot more.
Yeah.
It looks like I got most of the roots in that section there. There's just a little bit left, and stuff's going pretty well. We're recording this right now. No, don't worry. So as we're pulling back here, you can see just a little bit more separation. This one's also stair-stepping down as well, so it's not a huge issue at all. Should be really bad. Looks like some more roots in this section as well. And you were see, you know, I was able to poke a hole in this, and it looks like this was about where the issue had started. You can see practically the whole line right here is just encased in roots. It's like a whole section started to settle in the ground, and then these roots will grow in at these seams, and that's what we're looking at right there. Realistically, that's why I suggest to get it cabled out, you know, every once in a while, because they won't get half as bad as they are right now.
Yeah. Is that at risk of collapsing?
No.
Okay.
some more roots in this section. The longer you wait to get these roots cabled out, the bigger that the roots grow, the bigger the separations, the holes are going to be inside your line, and that's sort of where the risk comes in for collapse.
So you're talking about separation between tiles, basically?
Yeah. So tile pipe comes in 2 to 5 foot sections, and those sections will start to settle over time. So essentially, you'll have a pipe like this and like that.
Yeah.
You don't have any two major separations. That's what I mean by separations when they settled like that. There's one, but it's actually stair-stepping down. So if it starts to settle anymore, realistically, what's going to go on is it's going to collapse in that section. But it doesn't look like too bad of an issue right now, as long as it stays in the same place. It's probably been like that for a while as well. Just a little bit of roots left on the top. Those are pretty minor root intrusions. Looks like most of this line got cleaned up pretty well, except for those 2 spots. A little bit of roots left there as well. You know, it's normal to see those little hangers go by, which is fine and all that. You can see water is definitely flowing down this thing pretty fine. There's no spots where it's just holding a ridiculous amount of water, as if there were a belly or anything like that. A little bit more roots in that section as well. But like I said, we're going to go with a bigger blade after this and see if we can really do a little bit more damage to those roots. Really clean them up better. Here pretty soon we are going to be popping out of just a more root intrusion right there, right here. So it says we're at about 19 feet right now. I didn't set my timer right, so it's actually about 12 feet is where we're at. And this is from the clean out going into the easement. We go back, and that's where we get your 4-inch tile. So right here is kind of a worrisome separation. Stuff is going to be draining by this relatively okay, but if it starts to separate anymore, you can see how it's sort of just going to close in the line. This should be okay for a while, realistically. When you get this cabled out, if there's going to be a big issue, they'll be able to tell you up front, because they'll be able to feel it. It'll be like hitting the wall almost. So as far as this little 12-foot section of pipe, you know, as far as there's just like little minor separations. Other than that, there's not even roots coming into this section at all. And you can see just like the tiniest bit right
like,
there.
Root killer thing every 6 months. Is that good? I mean, that's what the lady who lived here before told us to do to keep this from plugging.
It depends on what type you're using. So this is a picture of the clean out that I did my video inspection from today. And that will conclude our video inspection. That was Sam with Bulldog Rooter. Thank you.